veterans who are in danger of being cut in this year where the salary cap could go down by $18.2 million per team. We're going to do the draft. First, I'm going to ask Peter this question, since it's inspired by the release of J.J. Watt. Since he entered the league in 2011, his 101.5 sacks are second in the NFL for the first pick in the draft. Who is first in sacks since 2011 with 106?
I would just guess Robert Quinn, but I should know that, and I don't know.
You've interviewed him about it. You interviewed him when he turned 30, on pace to catch Bruce Smith. Von Miller.
Why am I... Oh,
Von
my God,
Miller.
Von Miller. Yeah, that's terrible. That's
terrible.
All right. You're right, Mike. Sorry about that. I forgot about Von Miller.
That's fine. I got the first pick.
You deserve the first pick in this draft.
Well, he's not on my list. He's not on my list. But with a new GM and a season that was wiped out due to injury and a contract that may be hard to trade, I'll start with Von Miller. I think he may be in danger of being released by the Denver Broncos as they move forward with a new identity for their franchise, Peter.
I think that's a good one, Mike. At least it's a good thought. Haven't we been saying that Alshon Jeffrey might get cut for about 6 years in Philadelphia? I mean, they can't save a whole lot of money by cutting Alshon Jeffrey this year, whatever it is, $4 or $5 million savings by cutting him before the start of free agency. But honestly, what has Alshon Jeffrey brought to this team in the last couple of years? You have no idea if he can stay healthy. You need every dime in this bloated cap. If I were Alshon Jeffrey, I'd be looking over my shoulder.
I did meticulous research before the show on cap hits and looked at rosters, and I just pulled Von Miller kind of out of the sky or some other orifice. But you know what? $18 million in net cap savings for the Broncos if they move on. He's in the last year of his contract. It won't surprise me at all. Next one for me, David Johnson, the running back who arrived in Houston last year with that trade with the Cardinals. Last year of his contract, $6.7 million in net cap savings for the Texans at a position where running backs are available any round of the draft, every round of the draft, or undrafted, as the Texans learned. David Johnson.
Mike, you stole mine. And I'm not saying that in any way that Ben Roethlisberger is going to be a cap casualty. If they want him to be the quarterback, I need to put a serious asterisk on this. But honestly, if they cut him, if he's not on the team this year, they save $19 million on their cap. And I am not saying that they are going to cut him because I think they're going to keep him. But when I knew we were going to do this, I wanted to make this point. And that is that Ben Roethlisberger has to play ball with the Steelers. And everybody knows he's got to play ball to lower his cap number. But, Mike, I think he's got to play ball in another way, too. He's really got to refocus and rededicate himself to fitness and to be the best Roethlisberger he can be for what might be his last year in football. So I know it's not keeping with this. I get it. But I did want to mention that.
When you say refocus and rededicate to fitness, that implies that he ever was focused or dedicated. I don't think he ever was. I think that's part of the problem. As he gets closer to 40, the Tom Brady lifestyle is not what Ben Roethlisberger has led over the years. And, you know, Ed Bouchette had an item on The Athletic recently saying until they work out this deal, there's a chance it's going to fall apart and they're just going to cut Ben Roethlisberger. So you're potentially onto something there. I got a lot of other names that I could put out there, but since we only have 3 rounds and I'm feeling a little frisky this morning, I'm going to say Jimmy Garoppolo, just because I don't know that anyone out there is going to take on that contract and pay him $25 million to deserve that kind of money. He's been injured, too injured. He's missed 23 games in the last 3 seasons. He had the 2019 year where he went wire to wire, and then he freaked Kyle Shanahan out in the playoffs, and they turned him into Bob Greasy. Everything but the eyeglasses that Greasy used to wear during the game was Garoppolo in the playoffs after he freaked him out by nearly throwing 3 interceptions against the Vikings. So I'll say Jimmy Garoppolo, grave danger of being released by the 49ers since they won't be able to find a trade partner.
Yeah, I'll give you my last one, Mike, and it's not a huge one. It just really isn't a huge one. But I'll tell you a guy who really, I think, really needs to be concerned right now, and that is Eric Flowers of the Dolphins, because I'm just not sure that they view him as a long-term guy.
A couple of others real quickly since I did the work. Golden Tate needs to worry. Preston Smith of the Packers, I think, should have concern. Riley Reif, the Vikings tackle. They gave him $1 million recently for an incentive he missed. That may end up being the parting gift. David Njoku in Cleveland. Marshawn Lattimore, the Saints corner, who's in his option year. And also Emmanuel Sanders and Latavius Murray, because the Saints have to do a ton of work to get under the cap.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.